Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zod. Anyways, man, basically, you already can tell by the byline exactly what I'm gonna get into, and the whole reason I made the video is just to point out a pattern of these people talking out of context or saying things that really make no sense, and eventually, retract what they said, or try to make it seem as if it was never said. And this individual in particular, like I said, I try not to speak on as much because in all reality, I have nothing against the dude. He's not a homie, so it's like, what can I really say? Whatever business the Bloods have with him, they have with him. You know what I mean? From what I watch and what people say, there's a lot of cats that got actual issues with this dude, but for the most part, when you got money, you can slide in a lot of different spots. But it's all, if you happen to get caught by the wrong individual, things can go a lot different. Look at, you see how I say, like, a lot of, when you have Bosco 100 try to follow what the dude from Compton said, BG Knockout, when he tried to call all Mexicans but really like Chicanos snitches, and try to like, insinuate a certain thing to put Southerners in that category, like, okay, you had issue with them, they're allowed to go tell, which is absolutely bullshit. Because if you pay attention to the news, and there's no slight at anybody, but if you pay attention to who's actually snitching, the whole color guard changes. It's a lot different, and that's one of the things I wanted to point out, outside of the whole Wack being able to associate itself with a known snitch and actually do business with him. But then again, it's like, when it's not to bring up prison politics, but it's just like a lot of shady stuff go down, and not only in state, but in the feds as well. You got cats from different states that think that it's actually that it's nothing wrong with raping their own race or raping anybody but they see it as nothing wrong. I know people in different places that have actually witnessed it firsthand and was like, man, what the hell is going on? But it's seen as nothing wrong. So it's understandable to see that this individual himself, Wack 100, would associate himself with a snitch, because at the end of the day, like, them politics don't really mean nothing. They're not respected in prison, so why would they be respected on the streets? And regardless of people that try to come on here and be like this and that, man, I've been behind the walls for long years. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's my first rodeo and my first time dealing with individuals. I've seen it, I've seen it firsthand from a distance, because looking in the cell, seeing some weird stuff, go back to sleep. It's none of my business. I've been in the hole where I've heard it taking place, and the next day individuals get pulled out, and dude has got his taken, and it's all by the same individual. It's not the same person, but just the same color guard. You know what I'm saying? So when people do get up in arms about the fact that this dude associated, it ain't nothing changed. Like, you got dudes that are solid that don't partake in that, but for the most part, paperwork and all types of stuff, ain't nobody really checking that. I know dudes right now that I can associate with that have rapist charges on them, and they solid in their hoods, but they still rapists. So, you know what I mean? They ain't Southerners, but it's like, you know what I mean? So you can't associate with these cats. So it's a pattern. Now, the whole reason I chose to make this video is because Wack 100 said all this, ish about Southerners and Chicanos in general, even though he has the Mexicanos group signed to his label, so he's not placing them in the same category. It's just Southerners, period. And he had a misguided way of thinking due to the fact of his past experiences with Southern Hispanics, not only in prison but even on the street. Because I mean, to be honest, the Pyrus are like one dot on the map in the city of Bucoima, and if you blink, you're gonna miss them. It's not like the 80s where they were prevalent and everywhere. It's no longer like that. You'll see OGs hanging around. I pass by a lot of them, say what's up, you know what I mean, because family. But as far as like being out there, it's not like that no more. And it's just due to the fact that homies just it's pressing that whole section. So, but them dudes are still hanging. It's just you're vastly outnumbered, so it's understandable why. So that's why I can see his train of thought. Now, like a lot of people, I never heard of Wack. He may have never heard of me, but I've never heard of Wack. And I lived in Bukoima a long time, but never heard of his name. Like, I've heard of other known people from 2Ps that were really out there, and some are never getting out. I ran into a lot of them in the pen that are actually family members. The whole reason I made this video is just to point out the fact of all this contradiction and all this recounting of, not even recounting, but this, regretting what you say and changing it in order to you know what I mean, because in order to avoid the problems. Like, you have these people that put this out there but don't really want them problems. And I'm sure, like, as far as like hand wise, I've seen Wack's videos, I've seen him knock fools out, but that don't stop. Like, when he knew what was coming. So I felt this when he retracted a lot of what he said and was like, I didn't say that. I felt that, you know what I mean? But it just goes to show you, like that dude BG Knockout, when he tried to speak on the homies, he's on quiet now. Like, and luckily, certain things that even in his situation, like, you want to put titles on the car, but your brother's a Chester, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Like, if anything, you that solid, go ahead and take care of him, because I can guarantee you, none of my brothers, if they had that on their jacket, could ever come around me. Like, they already know it'll be up. There's a lot of family members that know exactly what I think, so we don't even interact with each other in the first place. But it's just double S, you know what I mean? But that's besides the point. That's all I really wanted to say, man. For the people that ain't from California, I'm from the Valley. Wack is from the Valley. It's not LA as the city, it's Los Angeles County, but we the Valley, 818. So ain't too much that going on in the city that you don't know about. Even though we don't live in the Valley no more, we stay in the Antelope Valley, but it just is grimy out here. But that's besides the point, man. I'm just, for the people that pay attention to him and just really believe in that boy, look it, man. Dude went back on absolutely everything he said because he knew that there's real consequences. You just had some dude show up to his house and just really was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's to get active, you know what I mean? And when you have dudes like that are outright just saying all kind of, I said, you can only do, I've seen it happen a million times. Dudes will be putting all this shit on the internet and finally get caught slipping and get done. And then, people like, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing, but then eventually dudes is gone. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now everybody like, what happened? Well, you know what happened. Dudes is out there big mouth and eventually it caught up with him because it's like, to be our age, you know what I mean? Like, I think I'm older than Wack, but to be our age and you gotta know what comes with this. Like, and I think he knows what comes with it, but he's still hoping that money will shield him. And you got all these little fools that be like, oh, you coming at Wack, like they're even relevant themselves, you know what I mean? But money buys a lot of things, but when that money dries up, these same dudes will be the one to turn on you. It's slip up, you get conspiracy to anything, you go to jail, they on your head. Look at Suge, and they say that dude, he don't want to come out of his cell, whatever. That's besides the point, man. That's none of my business. Dude is a Damu, and that's just what it is. So, and that's all I want to point out, man. All this that food be talking and saying that this and that it ain't how it is. So the out of towners that don't know what's up, dog, hanging with snitches ain't tolerated. Hanging with anybody that's no good is not tolerated. And you ain't got to be a full-fledged gangbanger to know that. It's just, it's written in the DNA of Los Angeles. Whether you Hispanic, whether you black, whether you Asian, whether you Polynesian, whether you whatever. Most people know that those are lines that you don't cross, you know what I mean? But, of course, it ain't the first time that happened. So, with that being said, man, just pay attention to these cats and understand, man, that these dudes don't speak for California and don't speak for California politics. You know what I mean? And that's basically it. You know what I mean? that's basically it. With that, enjoy it. I got others to talk about, but you know what I mean? Like I said, unforeseen situations, family member sick. I gotta focus. You know what I mean? But yeah, I will be coming with a few new songs. Sheesh. I will be performing again. I've been performing, like, old, but still, doing my thing. You know what I mean? It's fun. Enjoy your life, man, because at any time it can be taken from you. That's all I'm gonna say on that, man. Enjoy your life. Get money. You know what I'm saying? For you youngsters, get money, man. This gangbang is garbage. It ain't nothing no more. But if you choose to partake in it, understand, man, you probably gonna be mad at yourself in the end. It's just, get that money, man. Get that money, man. Get that new, so you ain't struggling when you at my age. You know what I mean? I ain't struggling, but I ain't doing like I want to. But only time will tell. Anyways, man, enjoy your night. I'm your boy Zod. I'm out.